Hi friends, this is Ravindra Gajjar and I have come up with the most awaited product review of Tamron SP24-70mm f2.8 DI VC USD Generation 2 lens. I have been using this lens for quite some time, and after thorough practical usage of this lens, I am able to draw certain conclusions and inferences which I would like to share with you. Tamron says that it's a SP series of lens. SP means super performance lens. This series of lenses are aimed at professional and serious enthusiast photographers, those who want nothing else than excellence in image quality and sharpness. It's a DI version of lens. DI means digitally integrated lens. So this lens is exclusively made for full frame digital SLR cameras. But it's not limited to full frame sensor cameras only. It can be nicely used on APS-C sensor cameras also. The only difference you will get is in terms of crop factor of the sensor. When you mount this lens on APS-C sensor cameras, its focal length of 24-70mm will be cropped by the crop factor of the APS-C DSLR's sensor. So if this lens is mounted on Nikon camera, then focal length of 24-70mm will become somewhere around 36-105mm. When you hold this lens in hands, it feels very rugged, strongly built and weather sealed. If you hear the sound, it's all metal. It's not plastic or any other material which sounds good on specification and does not deliver on practical ground in extreme weather conditions. If you want to go through the further review and like that, click on the link displayed below here and you will be taken to detailed review of this lens. The front element of the lens is 82mm. The lens comes with a dedicated lens hood that is in flower shape. You can put the lens hood on and off by pressing its hood release button. This lens hood is proprietary design of Tamron and it is given with a ridge kind of multiple structure placed inside the lens hood. This ridge kind of structure is placed in a manner that it will reflect the light falling on the lens hood, a stray light specifically. It will reflect that light back, and rather than reflecting and transmitting that light on front element of the lens. Prominently, there are two main switches available and visible on the lens. One is vibration compensation. There is a switch which you can put to on and off. So you can put the vibration compensation to on or off mode. There is autofocus and manual focus switch on the lens. The zoom ring of the lens is given on front side of the lens near the filter attachment, and focus ring is given on back side of the lens somewhere near the mount side. This lens is having a very good SP series, super performance series emblem on that. There is distance scale window given on the lens by which you can see the distance at what you need to focus, and you can adjust your focus if you want to focus the lens manually. The lens is all weather sealed with specific gaskets on zoom ring, focus ring, the front element of the lens and back side of the lens. There is a specific rubber gasket, a sealant kind of thing which is given near mount area as well. This lens is distinguished separate by the non-generation 2 series, a successful predecessor of this lens, by silver ring itself. There are specific series of lenses unleashed by Tamron which are having this silver ring near the mount. So silver ring denotes these are generation 2 series lenses. The lens is a VC lens. VC stands for vibration compensation. This lens is one of the very few lenses in the range of 24-70mm available with good dependable stabilization system. Why vibration compensation is absolutely necessary in the recent shooting environment? If you are shooting outdoor or indoor in relatively low light situation, at that point of time you are using strobe light or continuous light. But if you want your photographs to show seamless detail in foreground and background, and to have that ambient light and strobe light mix well in the photograph, you need to slow down your shutter speed to great extent. At that point of time, if your sensor is high megapixel sensor, the slightest of camera shake will also be apparently and greatly visible in your photographs. So in order to remove this problem, in order to counter this problem, you need to rely on good stabilization system, that is either in lens or you need to carry your tripod along with you. So in this situation, I believe that at least a lens with 4 or 5 stops of full vibration compensation, that is stabilization, is needed here. VC of this lens is approved by Camera and Imaging Products Association, that is CIPA, and it is tested for effectiveness up to full 5 stops of vibration compensation. In order to check vibration compensation and its effectiveness, we wanted to test this lens on practical ground. For that we chose riverfront of Ahmedabad, which is an extremely dark environment, and in night at around 8:30 p.m. I asked my assistant to stand still and I tried leaning on some specifically steady subject on some wall, and I tried shooting using this lens on the same body with vibration compensation on and VC off. In that both mode, I tried shooting at the same shutter speed, same aperture value and same ISO. The shot displayed on left side of the screen is taken using vibration compensation off, and I could not stabilize myself, and after almost shooting experience of 15 years, I stopped my breath. I tried to lean on steady subject, yet I could not stabilize the shot, and you will be able to see the visible camera shake. The image captured with vibration compensation on has been displayed on right side of the screen, and you will be able to see apparently virtually no camera shake visible at all. The lens is available with zoom lock function placed near zoom ring of the lens. So when you are using this lens in tilted position and you are shooting at say 24 mm of focal length, you can put the zoom lock function on and the front element of the lens will not slip out. If you are traveling somewhere in a bumpy ride or on a terrainy surface, and at that point of time this zoom lock function should be put to on. The reason is that it will not unintentionally operate the lens barrel out. The lens is having f2.8 of constant aperture. There are 9 aperture blades. They are absolutely circular in the shape. If you stop down the f2.8 constant aperture of this lens up to full 2 stops, that is up to f5.6, then also the circular shape of the aperture, they remain absolutely circular, and that gives you very beautiful bokeh and very nice out of focus areas. The lens is having minimum object distance of 0.38 meter, that is 38 centimeter, and due to this relatively shortest minimum object distance, this lens gives you 1:5 magnification. This lens employs mainly 2 high refractive index glasses, 4 spherical lens elements and 3 low dispersion glasses. So all put together there are 17 elements in 12 groups. Tamron has developed certain proprietary coatings like E-band coating, BBR coating. E-band stands for extended bandwidth and angular dependency coating, and BBR stands for broadband anti-reflective coating. Why do we need glass to be treated with these coatings? The reason and its answer goes into excessive technical theory. Camera sees reflected light, and when light falls on any reflective subject like glass or any other surface, rather than transmitting throughout that surface, the light will reflect back, and this results in compromised contrast. It may result in flare and ghosting as well. When there are multiple elements placed within the lens barrel and inside body of the lens, when light falling on one lens element, if it reflects back on other element, it will create flare and ghosting. So in order to reduce or efficiently reduce this flare and ghosting and reflectance of light, you need to treat the glass with certain coatings, and those coatings make the external surface of the glass less reflective. E-band coating is a kind of nano crystal layer applied on element of the lens, and this crystal layer helps reduce reflective ability of the lens, and it makes 100% or optimum amount of light pass through the lens element and hit the sensor. Specifically, the scene is worsen when light is coming from side edges, so that angular light is reflected to great extent. Front element of this lens comes with a fluorine coating on it, and fluorine helps repel dust and moisture, so you need not frequently clean up the front lens element. So we have tested this lens rigorously on practical ground in comparison with some other noted acclaimed lenses performing very good in range of 24 to 70 mm developed by some other manufacturers. If you compare these two images shot with two different lenses, one is Canon 24 to 70 mm f2.8 Mark II lens, and head to head compared with Tamron SP 24 to 70 mm f2.8 DI VC USD lens on the same body with the same metadata and settings of same aperture value, same shutter speed and same ISO, you will see a notable difference in image quality. The image displayed here, that is taken with Tamron lens, that shows minimal flare and ghosting. Probably it will not be a big thing if I say that it shows no ghosting at all or no flare. And on the other hand, the image displayed on other side is image taken by Canon lens, and that shows notable visible ghosting and flare somewhere near that plant placed adjoining the road on pedestrian road. You will be able to see the flare and ghosting clearly. When you compare these two images, they both are reasonably sharp, good from center to corner, but you will see a notable difference of contrast. The image taken by Tamron lens is having good, relatively nice contrast in highlights and shadow areas as well. And on the other hand, the image taken by Canon has some reduced, compromised contrast. What does a serious enthusiast or a professional photographer want in his images? Possibly their clients also may be looking for this thing only. When we are talking about lenses, first and foremost we want sharp lenses, lenses that can resolve optimum details, lenses that can render highest or optimum perceptual megapixel, sharpness, acutance, contrast, ability of the lens to resolve those details, everything are closely associated theories. These attributes and these things work heavily in combination of one another. But before that, if we want to leverage benefit of all these technological advancements, we need lenses to be focusing tech sharp and accurately in relatively low light as well. This lens is having dual microprocessing units. In conventional lenses, you will see that one and only microprocessing unit or one memory chip will be taking care of many functions. But in this Tamron SP20 4-70mm f2.8 DI VC USD Generation 2 lens, there are two dedicated microprocessing units taking care of vibration compensation and autofocus. So this lens is employing highly dependable and most contemporary ultrasonic silent drive, and this drive is even 1.5 times faster than its predecessor non-generation 2 series lens. So in relatively low light situation or less contrast scene also, this lens is absolutely dependable in terms of autofocus and focusing accuracy. Perhaps Tamron is the only exclusive lens manufacturer that gives power and flexibility in your hands. Tamron has come up with a specific device called the tap-in console. It's a kind of small device that attaches on backside of the lens, and with help of this device you can carry out many critical functions like firmware upgrade. You can upgrade the firmware with your own hands. You need not necessarily approach the service center or lens manufacturing company again. You can adjust front focus and back focus. When you are shooting with the widest open aperture of lenses and you are shooting almost wide open at say f2.8, f1.8, f1.4 or so, you will see at some point of time a missed focus when you are focusing on certain subject and focus is shifted front side. That is called front focus. Focus when it is shifted on back side, it is called back focus. At some point of time, every photographer in his life or her life will encounter this issue. This issue or phenomenon can very well be handled and rectified with help of tap-in console. Tap-in console can help you adjust front focus and back focus within minutes. There are certain macro lenses, they come up with a focus limiter function. It's a specific switch given on the lens that will limit your focus in certain zone or area. So degree of rotation of the focus ring of the lens will be limited to an extent, so it will focus instant and more accurately. This distance of focus limiting can also be adjusted with help of tap-in console. You can adjust the vibration compensation function as well with this tap-in console. Technically speaking, actual image should be stabilized. At the same point of time, the viewfinder image, what you see through viewfinder photography, should be also stabilized in order to give you more pleasant shooting experience. So you can give priority with help of this tap-in console that actual viewfinder image should be stabilized more or the actual captured image should be stabilized more. That all priority should be decided by you, and that also you can give with help of this tap-in console. In a specific situation when you are depending heavily on autofocus system of your lens and you feel that you are not getting that critical autofocus, you feel that you need to take control of the autofocus by rotating the focus ring and you need to get your focus manually. At that point of time, you can adjust the angular control sensitivity of this focus ring. What I mean by this is that by rotating this slight adjustment of focus ring, if you want to get macro to infinity focus, that is also possible. And by coarse adjustment of the focus ring, you can get macro to infinity focus, that is also possible. So you can adjust 3 main levels with help of tap-in console. You can put the angular control sensitivity of the focus ring to low, normal and high. So in order to conclude this review, I would like to say that if I am supposed to choose a lens in the range of 24 to 70 mm focal length, I would definitely look for a lens which is sharp, which is rendering very good contrast, which resolves good optimum details, which renders a good perceptual megapixel, or I'll say optimum perceptual megapixel. The lens which is a very good stabilized lens, and it allows me to shoot handheld in relatively low light, probably which is a demand of every photography assignment nowadays. I'll choose a lens which is really dependable and which gives me flexibility in my hands in order to adjust many critical functions from all point of view, not only from features, not only from technological advancement point of view, but from price point of view also. This is a lens which comes into top choice, and I'll raise my purchase decision with this lens. Friends, thanks a lot for watching this review, and I wish all of you a great success in your shooting endeavor ahead. For more such reviews, stay tuned and let us meet again. Thank you.